Well, this 2015 season we've extended the evaluation trench that we did last year. Last year we had a 20 by 20 metre square evaluation trench. This year we've extended it to 60 metres by 20 metres. Now, here is the oven that we excavated last year with the central fire pit, the stoking hole, a clay floor running over there, which we now think is to do with malting and threshing. We removed the shelf which had collapsed within the oven last year, and we're now beginning to think that the shelf collapsed in use, splitting the superstructure, the base of the superstructure, because we now have found burnt grain actually within what is the walls and the tumble of the structure. So it looks like it failed in use, as did the oven we did in 2013. And I suspect this happens if you're heating, cooling, anything made of clay. We have last year evidence suggestive of a building that had burnt down, and we're hoping at some stage during the digging season to get down to that level and excavate it and see if we can find the whole building and see what's happened, and also look at the geophysics and do some environmental studies on it, because if it contains a lot of burnt grain, that may be significant within an area which we know is to do with grain processing. Further up the trench, in the bit that we've opened to the south, there is what is almost certainly another oven. There is an oval collapsed dome of daub, and this will be excavated hopefully during the course of the season. It looks a slightly different but slightly simpler structure to the ovens we've dug in the last 2 years, and it's reminiscent of those that were found at Brandon Road in Thetford a year or two ago, although those really we just had the fire pit bases, so we may have more of this than they had. In the northern bit of the trench we have a very strong geophysical signal, but we don't know what it is. We thought at first it was an oven. We've not found any significant amounts of burnt daub over it. So I think what we're going to do, given that we are short of manpower this season, we're going to take it down and see if we can get the top of it in plan, draw a plan, cover it over, and then excavate it next year when we've got more time to do it. What we don't want to do is to start something that we can't finish properly. But we do think we've probably got the time to get the oven and the burnt out building in the southernmost third of the trench. Last night's weather was both spectacular in the light show and atrocious in terms of the amount of rain that came down. And I think the power of that rain on this type of sandy soil just shows how you can build up nearly 2 metres of hill wash on top of your archaeology. It did a lot of damage to the trench. Worse still, I think, is the contamination of areas where we'd hoped to be doing environmental archaeology, so we'll have to take at least 5 centimetres off before we can take those samples now, possibly more. So that amount of rain, I think there must have been 2 inches in an hour and a half, and it's not done irreparable damage, but it's certainly done damage.